Chapter 1, Part 6. By receiving Holy Communion, we are also united with the communion of saints, a vast and diverse community that includes all the baptized faithful, both living and deceased. The communion of saints is a powerful reminder that we are not alone in our journey of faith. We are part of a larger body, a family of believers who support, pray for, and encourage one another on the path to eternal life. When we receive Holy Communion, we are not only united with Christ, but also with the communion of saints. This union is a source of strength, comfort, and joy. It reminds us that we are part of something greater than ourselves and that we are never truly alone. In the Eucharist, we encounter the living presence of Christ and are united with the communion of saints. Through this sacred sacrament, we receive spiritual nourishment, are strengthened in our faith, and are reminded of our eternal destiny. May we approach the Eucharist with reverence and awe, knowing that in receiving Holy Communion, we are participating in a profound mystery that transcends human understanding and unites us. Shadow work. Shadow work is a process of exploring and integrating the unconscious aspects of our personality. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who first introduced the concept of the shadow, believed that the shadow is made up of all the disowned, repressed, and unwanted aspects of ourselves. These aspects are often dark and negative, but they can also include positive qualities that we have rejected for one reason or another. Shadow work is important because it can help us to become more whole and integrated individuals. When we acknowledge and accept our shadow selves, we can begin to heal the split in our personality and live more authentically. Shadow work can also help us to develop greater self-awareness, compassion, and acceptance. There are a number of ways to do shadow work. One way is through journaling. Journaling can help you to identify the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are part of your shadow. Another way to do shadow work is through therapy. A therapist can help you to explore your shadow in a safe and supportive environment. Shadow work can be a challenging process, but it is also a rewarding one. When we integrate our shadow selves, we become more whole, authentic, and empowered individuals. Shadow work can help us to live more fulfilling and meaningful lives. Here are some tips for doing shadow work. Be patient. Shadow work is a process, and it takes time to see results. Be gentle with yourself. It can be difficult to look at the dark side of ourselves, but it is important to be patient and compassionate with yourself. Find a safe space. Shadow work can be emotionally challenging, so it is important to do it in a safe space where you feel supported. Use tools. There are a number of tools that can be helpful for shadow work, such as journaling, therapy, art, and meditation. Dreamwork dreams have always been a source of fascination and mystery for humans. Throughout history, people have sought to understand the meaning of dreams, and many cultures have believed that dreams can offer insights into our subconscious minds and provide guidance for our lives. In recent years, there has been a growing interest in the use of dreams for spiritual growth and healing. Dream work is a process of exploring and interpreting dreams in order to gain a deeper understanding of oneself and one's life. Dream work can be a powerful tool for personal growth, as it can help us to identify and work through issues that we may be struggling with, as well as to develop a deeper understanding of our own motivations and desires. There are a number of different techniques that can be used for dream work. One common technique is dream journaling. Keeping a dream journal can help you to remember your dreams more clearly and to begin to identify patterns and themes in your dreams. Another technique is dream analysis. Dream analysis involves interpreting the symbols and images in dreams in order to understand their meaning. There are a number of different approaches to dream analysis, and the meaning of a dream can often be interpreted in a variety of ways. Dream work can be a challenging process, but it can also be very rewarding. It can help us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our lives, and our place in the world. Dreams can offer us insights into our subconscious minds that we may not be able to access in any other way. They can help us to resolve conflicts, to heal from trauma, and to develop a more fulfilling life. If you are interested in exploring the use of dreams for spiritual growth and healing, there are a number of resources available to you. You can find books, articles, and workshops on the subject. You can also find dream therapists who can help you to work with your dreams. Dream work is a powerful tool that can have a profound impact on your life. If you are open to exploring the world of dreams, you may be surprised at what you find. Intuition. Intuition is a powerful force that can guide us in our lives. It is a deep knowing that comes from within, and it can help us to make decisions, solve problems, and navigate through life. Intuition is often associated with spirituality, and it can be a powerful tool for spiritual growth. There are many ways to develop your intuitive abilities. One way is to simply pay attention to your intuition. When you have a gut feeling about something, take the time to notice it and see if it pans out. Another way to develop your intuition is to meditate. Meditation can help you to quiet your mind and open yourself up to receiving intuitive messages. You can also try journaling, which can help you to track your intuition and see how it develops over time. As you develop your intuitive abilities, you may find that you are able to connect with a higher power or source of wisdom. You may also find that you are able to receive guidance and direction for your life. Intuition can be a powerful tool for spiritual growth, and it can help you to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Here are some tips for using intuition in your spiritual journey. Be open to receiving intuitive messages. Pay attention to your gut feelings and hunches. Trust your intuition. When you have an intuitive feeling, follow it even if it doesn't make sense at first. Develop your intuition. Practice meditation, journaling, and other activities that can help you to connect with your intuition. Use intuition in conjunction with other spiritual practices. Intuition can be a powerful complement to other spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, and yoga. Intuition is a powerful tool that can help you on your spiritual journey. By developing your intuitive abilities, you can open yourself up to a deeper connection with yourself, with the world around you, and with a higher power or source of wisdom. Spiritual activism. Spiritual activism is a term used to describe the intersection of spirituality and social justice work. It is a way of living that integrates one's spiritual beliefs and values with the pursuit of social change. Spiritual activists believe that spirituality can be a powerful force for good in the world, and that it can inspire people to take action to make a difference. There are many ways in which spirituality can inspire social justice work. One way is through the cultivation of empathy. When people connect with their inner selves and with a higher power, they are often led to a greater understanding and compassion for others. This can lead to a desire to help those who are suffering and to work to create a more just world. Another way in which spirituality can inspire social justice work is through the promotion of nonviolence. Many spiritual traditions teach that violence is not the answer to problems, and that it is only through love and compassion that lasting change can be achieved. Spiritual activists often work to promote nonviolence as a way to resolve conflict and build a more peaceful world. Finally, spirituality can inspire social justice work through the creation of community. When people come together to share their spiritual beliefs and values, they can create a powerful force for change. Community can provide support, encouragement, and a sense of purpose. It can also provide a platform for people to voice their concerns and to take action to address injustice. Here are some examples of how spirituality has been used to inspire social justice work. The civil rights movement in the United States was heavily influenced by the Black church. Martin Luther King Jr., a Baptist minister, was a key figure in the movement, and he often spoke about the importance of spirituality in the struggle for civil rights. He believed that God called him to lead the movement, and he drew inspiration from his Christian faith in his work for social justice. The anti-apartheid movement in South Africa was also inspired by spirituality. Nelson Mandela, a devout Christian, was a key figure in the movement, and he often spoke about the importance of spirituality in the struggle against apartheid. He believed that God called him to lead the movement, and he drew inspiration from his Christian faith in his work for social justice. The environmental movement is also often inspired by spirituality. Many people believe that the earth is a sacred place, and that we have a responsibility to protect it. They believe that spirituality can provide us with the motivation and the tools we need to live in a more sustainable way. Spiritual activism is a powerful force for good in the world. It can inspire people to take action to make a difference, and it can help to create a more just and compassionate world. If you are interested in getting involved in spiritual activism, there are many ways to get started. You can join a social justice organization that is aligned with your values, or you can start your own organization. You can also volunteer your time to help those in need, or you can simply spread awareness about social justice issues. No matter how you choose to get involved, your participation in spiritual activism can make a real difference in the world. The chakra system. The chakra system is a network of energy centers located along the spine. These energy centers, or chakras, are believed to be responsible for regulating various aspects of our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. There are 7 main chakras, each of which is associated with a different color, a different set of organs, and a different range of emotions. The chakras are Muladhara chakra, root chakra. Located at the base of the spine, the root chakra is associated with the color red, the earth element, and the basic needs of survival. It is responsible for grounding us and providing us with a sense of security. Svadhisthana chakra, sacral chakra. Located just below the navel, the sacral chakra is associated with the color orange, the water element, and emotions such as sexuality, creativity, and pleasure. It is responsible for our ability to feel joy and connect with others. Manipura chakra, solar plexus chakra. Located in the middle of the abdomen, the solar plexus chakra is associated with the color yellow, the fire element, and the will. It is responsible for our sense of personal power and self-confidence. Anahata chakra, heart chakra. Located at the heart chakra is associated with the color green, the air element, and love and compassion. It is responsible for our ability to love and be loved. Vishuddha chakra, throat chakra. Located at the throat chakra is associated with the color blue, the ether element, and communication. It is responsible for our ability to communicate clearly and express ourselves authentically. Ajna chakra, third eye chakra. Located in the center of the forehead, the third eye chakra is associated with the color indigo, the light element, and intuition. It is responsible for our ability to see beyond the physical world and access our inner wisdom. Sahasrara chakra, crown chakra. Located at the top of the head, the crown chakra is associated with the color white, the non-element, and enlightenment. It is responsible for our connection to the divine and our higher purpose. The chakras are all interconnected, and each one affects the others. When the chakras are balanced, we are in a state of harmony and well-being. However, when the chakras are blocked or unbalanced, we can experience physical, emotional, and spiritual problems. There are many ways to balance the chakras. Some common methods include meditation, yoga, breathwork, and energy healing. By balancing the chakras, we can improve our overall health and well-being and connect more deeply with our true selves. The chakra system is a powerful tool for spiritual growth and healing. By understanding and working with the chakras, we can transform our lives for the better. Spiritual guidance. Spiritual guidance can be an important part of any spiritual journey. It can provide us with support, guidance, and insight as we navigate the challenges and opportunities of life. There are many different forms of spiritual guidance available, and the right one for you will depend on your individual needs and preferences. Some common forms of spiritual guidance include working with a teacher, mentor, or spiritual community. A teacher or mentor can provide you with guidance and support as you learn about and practice your spirituality. They can also help you to identify and work through any obstacles that you may be facing. A spiritual community can provide you with a sense of belonging and support. It can also be a place to learn about and practice your spirituality with others. If you are interested in seeking spiritual guidance, it is important to find someone who is qualified and experienced. You should also feel comfortable with them and their approach to spirituality. It is important to remember that spiritual guidance is a personal journey. There is no one right way to do it. The most important thing is to find what works best for you and to be open to the process. Here are some tips for finding spiritual guidance. Do your research. There are many different types of spiritual teachers, mentors, and communities out there. It is important to do your research and find someone who is qualified and experienced in the type of spirituality that you are interested in. Talk to your friends and family. If you know someone who has had a positive experience with spiritual guidance, ask them for recommendations. Attend workshops or events. This is a great way to meet different spiritual teachers and mentors and to learn about different approaches to spirituality. Trust your intuition. When you meet someone who you think might be a good spiritual guide, pay attention to your intuition. Do you feel comfortable with them? Do you feel like they understand you? If so, then they may be a good fit for you. Spiritual guidance can be a powerful tool for personal growth and transformation. If you are open to it, it can help you to connect with your inner wisdom, find your purpose in life, and live a more fulfilling life. Near-death experiences. Near-death experiences, NDEs, are profound experiences that happen to some people when they are close to death. They often involve feelings of peace, joy, and a sense of being connected to something larger than themselves. NDEs can also include visions of deceased loved ones or other spiritual beings. There is no one definitive definition of an NDE, as they can vary widely from person to person. However, some common features of NDEs include a feeling of separation from the body, a sense of peace and tranquility, seeing a bright light, encountering deceased loved ones or other spiritual beings, a feeling of being in a tunnel, a life review, a decision about whether or not to return to life. NDEs have been reported by people of all ages, cultures, and religious backgrounds. They have also been reported by people who were clinically dead for a period of time, as well as those who were near death but did not actually die. The scientific community is still studying NDEs, and there is no consensus on what they mean or why they happen. Some researchers believe that NDEs are simply a result of the brain's activity during a near-death event. Others believe that NDEs may provide evidence for the existence of an afterlife. Whatever the cause of NDEs, they can have a profound impact on the people who experience them. NDEs can lead to changes in a person's beliefs, values, and outlook on life. They can also lead to a greater sense of purpose and meaning. The spiritual significance of NDEs is a matter of personal interpretation. Some people believe that NDEs provide a glimpse into the afterlife. Others believe that NDEs are a confirmation of the existence of God or a higher power. Still, others believe that NDEs are simply a natural phenomenon that occurs when the brain is under stress. There is no right or wrong answer to the question of what NDEs mean. Ultimately, the spiritual significance of NDEs is something that each individual must decide for themselves. Although NDEs are often seen as positive experiences, they can also be challenging. Some people who have had NDEs struggle to integrate their experiences back into their lives. They may feel isolated or misunderstood by others. It is important for people who have had NDEs to seek support from others who have had similar experiences, or from a therapist who is familiar with NDEs. NDEs are a rare and extraordinary phenomenon. They can have a profound impact on the people who experience them. Although there is still much that we do not know about NDEs, they offer a glimpse into the mysteries of consciousness and the human experience. The law of attraction. The law of attraction is a belief that states that our thoughts and emotions attract like experiences into our lives. This principle is based on the idea that we are all connected to a universal energy field, and that this energy field responds to our thoughts and emotions. When we focus on positive thoughts and emotions, we attract positive experiences into our lives. When we focus on negative thoughts and emotions, we attract negative experiences into our lives. The law of attraction has been around for centuries, and it has been used by many different cultures and religions. In recent years, the law of attraction has become increasingly popular due to the work of authors such as Rhonda Byrne, who wrote the book The Secret. The law of attraction can be applied to all areas of our lives, including our physical health, our financial situation, our relationships, and our spiritual growth. When we understand and apply the law of attraction, we can create a life that is full of joy, abundance, and love. There are a few key things to remember when applying the law of attraction. First, it is important to be aware of our thoughts and emotions. We need to be aware of the things that we are thinking about and the emotions that we are feeling. Second, we need to be intentional with our thoughts and emotions. We need to choose to focus on positive thoughts and emotions, and we need to let go of negative thoughts and emotions. Third, we need to be patient. The law of attraction does not work overnight. It takes time and consistency to see results. The law of attraction can be a powerful tool for spiritual growth. When we focus on positive thoughts and emotions, we open ourselves up to the possibility of receiving positive spiritual experiences. We can attract spiritual guidance, healing, and connection with the divine. The law of attraction can help us to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. If you are interested in learning more about the law of attraction, there are a number of resources available to you. You can read books, listen to audio programs, or watch videos on the subject. There are also many online communities where you can connect with other people who are interested in the law of attraction. The law of attraction is a powerful tool that can help you to create a life that is full of joy, abundance, and love. If you are willing to be open to it, the law of attraction can help you to transform your life for the better. Gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude and appreciation are two powerful emotions that can have a profound impact on our lives. They can improve our mental health, physical health, relationships, and overall well-being. Gratitude and appreciation are also essential for spiritual growth. Cultivating these attitudes can lead to a more fulfilling life. Gratitude is the act of acknowledging and appreciating the good things in our lives. It can be expressed through thoughts, words, or actions. Appreciation is the recognition and understanding of the value of something. It is also an expression of thankfulness. Gratitude and appreciation are closely related, but there are some key differences between them. Gratitude is more focused on the present moment, while appreciation can also include reflecting on the past. Gratitude is often associated with positive emotions, while appreciation can also include negative emotions, such as sadness or loss. Both gratitude and appreciation are important for spiritual growth. When we are grateful, we focus on the positive aspects of our lives, which can help us to feel more positive and optimistic. Appreciation helps us to recognize the value of things, both big and small. This can help us to appreciate the world around us more fully and to be more grateful for the things we have. Gratitude and appreciation can also help us to connect with others. When we express gratitude to others, it can create a sense of connection and bonding. Appreciation can also help us to connect with others by recognizing the value of their contributions. Both gratitude and appreciation can have a positive impact on our mental health. Gratitude has been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It can also improve our self-esteem and overall well-being. Appreciation can have similar effects. It can help us to feel more positive and optimistic, and it can also help us to build resilience. Gratitude and appreciation can also have a positive impact on our physical health. Gratitude has been linked to lower blood pressure, improved heart health, and better sleep. Appreciation can help us to make healthier choices and to take better care of ourselves. Gratitude and appreciation can also improve our relationships. When we are grateful for the people in our lives, it can strengthen our relationships. Appreciation can also help us to be more mindful of the needs of others, which can lead to more fulfilling relationships. Here are some tips for cultivating gratitude and appreciation in your life. Keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write down at least 3 things you are grateful for. This can be anything, big or small. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you are mindful, you are more likely to notice the good things in your life. Express gratitude to others. Tell people you appreciate them. It can be as simple as saying thank you or writing a thank you note. Be appreciative of nature. Spend time in nature and appreciate the beauty of the natural world. Practice acts of kindness. Do something nice for someone else without expecting anything in return. Gratitude and appreciation are 2 powerful emotions that can have a profound impact on our lives. They can improve our mental health, physical health, relationships, and overall well-being. Gratitude and appreciation are also essential for spiritual growth. When we cultivate these attitudes, we can open ourselves up to the possibility of a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful emotion that can have a profound impact on our lives. It can free us from the burden of anger and resentment, and it can open the door to healing and growth. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it is essential for spiritual healing. When we forgive, we let go of the negative energy that is holding us back. We allow ourselves to move on and live our lives with more peace and happiness. There are many reasons why forgiveness is important for spiritual growth. First, forgiveness can help us to let go of the past. When we hold on to anger and resentment, we are essentially living in the past. We are allowing the actions of others to control our present moment. Forgiveness allows us to let go of the past and focus on the present. It allows us to move on with our lives and create a better future for ourselves. Second, forgiveness can help us to heal from trauma. When we are hurt by someone, it can be difficult to let go of the pain. Forgiveness does not mean that we condone the actions of the person who hurt us. It simply means that we are no longer willing to let the pain control our lives. Forgiveness can help us to heal from the trauma and move on with our lives. Third, forgiveness can help us to improve our relationships. When we hold on to anger and resentment, we damage our relationships. We may become withdrawn and isolated, or we may lash out at others. Forgiveness can help us to repair our relationships and build bridges with the people we love. Fourth, forgiveness can help us to live more peacefully. When we are constantly angry and resentful, we are not living in peace. We are letting the actions of others control our emotions and our lives. Forgiveness can help us to let go of the anger and resentment and live a more peaceful life. Fifth, forgiveness can help us to become more spiritually connected. When we forgive, we are opening ourselves up to the possibility of love and compassion. We are allowing ourselves to experience the healing power of forgiveness. Forgiveness can help us to connect with our higher selves and to experience a deeper level of spirituality. If you are struggling to forgive someone, there are a few things you can do. First, it is important to understand that forgiveness is a process. It does not happen overnight. Second, it is important to be patient with yourself. Forgiveness is not easy, but it is worth it. Third, it is important to find a safe place to talk about your feelings. This could be with a therapist, a trusted friend, or a journal. Fourth, it is important to let go of the need for revenge. Forgiveness does not mean that you condone the actions of the person who hurt you. It simply means that you are no longer willing to let the pain control your life. Fifth, it is important to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Forgiveness can help you to focus on the good things in your life and to create a more positive future for yourself. Forgiveness is a powerful emotion that can have a profound impact on our lives. It can free us from the burden of anger and resentment, and it can open the door to healing and growth. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it is essential for spiritual healing. When we forgive, we let go of the negative energy that is holding us back. We allow ourselves to move on and live our lives with more peace and happiness. Loss and grief. Loss and grief are a part of life, and no one is immune to them. When we experience loss, it can feel like our world is ending. We may feel angry, sad, or even numb. We may question our beliefs about the world and our place in it. Grief is a natural process, and there is no right or wrong way to experience it. However, it is important to find ways to deal with loss and grief in a healthy way. This may include talking to a therapist, joining a support group, or practicing mindfulness meditation. It can also be helpful to find ways to honor the person or thing that we have lost. This could involve writing a letter, creating a memorial, or simply spending time in places that remind us of them. From a spiritual perspective, loss and grief can be seen as a natural part of the cycle of life. Everything is impermanent, and we are all connected to each other on a deeper level. When we lose someone we love, it can be a reminder of our own mortality. This can be painful, but it can also be a source of growth and transformation. Grief can help us to let go of things that we no longer need, and it can open us up to new possibilities. It can also help us to appreciate the people and things that we have in our lives. Dealing with loss and grief is not easy, but it is possible. With time and support, we can come to terms with our loss and find ways to move forward with our lives. Here are some tips for dealing with loss and grief from a spiritual perspective. Accept that grief is a natural process. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. Allow yourself to feel your emotions and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. Find ways to honor the person or thing that you have lost. This could involve writing a letter, creating a memorial, or simply spending time in places that remind you of them. Connect with other people who are grieving. Talking to other people who have experienced loss can be helpful. It can provide you with support and understanding. Practice mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation can help you to focus on the present moment and to let go of negative thoughts and emotions. Seek professional help if you need it. If you are struggling to cope with your grief, consider talking to a therapist. A therapist can help you to process your grief and develop healthy coping mechanisms. Remember, you are not alone. Everyone experiences loss at some point in their lives. With time and support, you can come to terms with your loss and find ways to move forward with your life. Self-care. Self-care is essential for our physical, mental, and emotional health. It is no less important for our spiritual growth. In fact, self-care can be a powerful tool for spiritual development. When we take care of ourselves, we are creating the space and time we need to connect with our inner selves, explore our spirituality, and grow in our understanding of the world. There are many different ways to practice self-care. Some simple things you can do include eating healthy, getting enough sleep, exercising, and avoiding harmful substances. It is also important to make time for activities that you enjoy and that bring you joy. These might include spending time in nature, reading, art, music, or spending time with loved ones. When we engage in self-care, we are not only taking care of our physical and mental health, but we are also creating the foundation for spiritual growth. When we are healthy and well-rested, we are better able to focus on our spiritual practices. We are also more likely to be open to new experiences and insights. There are many different paths to spiritual growth, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach. The most important thing is to find what works for you and to make self-care a regular part of your life. If you are struggling to find a self-care practice that works for you, there are many resources available to help you. You can talk to a therapist, a spiritual advisor, or a trusted friend or family member. Remember, self-care is not selfish. It is an essential part of living a healthy, happy, and fulfilling life. When we take care of ourselves, we are not only making ourselves better, but we are also making the world a better place. Here are some tips for creating a sustainable self-care practice. Start small. Don't try to do too much all at once. Just focus on adding 1 or 2 new self-care habits to your routine each week. Be realistic. It takes time to develop new habits. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Just keep at it, and you will eventually see a difference. Find a support system. Tell your friends and family about your self-care goals. They can help you stay motivated and accountable. Make self-care a priority. Just like you would schedule a doctor's appointment or a work meeting, schedule time for self-care in your calendar. This will help you to make it a regular part of your life. Self-care is an ongoing journey. There will be times when you are more consistent with your self-care practices than others. That is okay. Just keep coming back to it, and don't give up. Self-care is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. It is an investment in your health, your happiness, and your spiritual growth. Fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are 2 of the most common obstacles on the spiritual path. They can prevent us from taking risks at exploring new possibilities and connecting with our true selves. However, fear and doubt are also natural parts of being human. They are signals that we are moving into unfamiliar territory and that our comfort zones are being challenged. The key to overcoming fear and doubt is to acknowledge them and learn to work with them. We can't always avoid fear and doubt, but we can learn to manage them so that they don't hold us back. Here are some tips for facing fear and doubt on the spiritual path. 1. Acknowledge your fear and doubt. The first step to overcoming fear and doubt is to acknowledge them. Don't try to push them away or ignore them. When you acknowledge your fear and doubt, you take away their power. 2. Embrace your fear and doubt as a part of you. Fear and doubt are natural parts of being human. They are signals that you are moving into unfamiliar territory, and that your comfort zones are being challenged. Embrace your fear and doubt as a part of you and learn to work with them. Find a safe place to explore your fear and doubt. It can be helpful to find a safe place where you can explore your fear and doubt. This could be a therapist's office, a spiritual retreat, or a place in nature. 4. Challenge your fear and doubt. Once you have acknowledged and embraced your fear and doubt, you can start to challenge them. Ask yourself why you are afraid or doubtful. What are you afraid of happening? What are you doubting? Challenge your fear and doubt with logic and reason. 5. Use tools to help you manage your fear and doubt. There are a number of tools that can help you manage your fear and doubt. These include meditation, breathwork, yoga, and journaling. 6. Don't give up. It takes time and practice to overcome fear and doubt. Don't give up if you don't see results immediately. Keep challenging yourself and keep working with your fear and doubt. Eventually, you will overcome them. Facing fear and doubt is an important part of the spiritual path. It is a process of learning to trust yourself and your intuition. It is a process of learning to let go of what you know and embrace the unknown. It is a process of growth and transformation. So don't be afraid of fear and doubt. Embrace them as a part of your journey. Use them as tools to help you grow and evolve. The more you face your fear and doubt, the stronger you will become. And the stronger you become, the closer you will come to your true self. Finding your spiritual path. Finding your spiritual path is a journey of self-discovery. It is a process of exploring your beliefs, values, and experiences in order to find what gives you meaning and purpose in life. There is no one right way to find your spiritual path, and it may take some time and effort to find what works for you. However, there are a few things you can do to help you on your journey. 1. Be open to new experiences. One of the best ways to find your spiritual path is to be open to new experiences. This means trying new things, meeting new people, and exploring different ways of thinking about spirituality. There are many different paths to spirituality, and no one knows what is right for you but you. 2. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is a powerful tool that can help you on your spiritual journey. Pay attention to your gut feelings and inner wisdom. They can guide you to the right people, places, and experiences that will help you on your path. 3. Trust yourself. The most important thing is to trust yourself. You are the only one who knows what is best for you on your spiritual journey. Don't be afraid to follow your heart and intuition, even if it leads you in directions that you don't understand or that other people don't approve of. Finding your spiritual path is a journey, not a destination. There is no one right way to do it, and it may take some time and effort to find what works for you. However, if you are open to new experiences, listen to your intuition, and trust yourself, you will eventually find your way. Here are some additional tips for finding your spiritual path. Meditate. Meditation can help you to quiet your mind and connect with your inner self. It can also help you to develop your intuition and become more aware of your spiritual needs. Read spiritual books and articles. Reading about different spiritual traditions and practices can help you to learn more about spirituality and find what resonates with you. Talk to other people about spirituality. Talking to other people who are on a spiritual journey can be a great way to learn and grow. You can find other spiritual seekers online or in your local community. Attend spiritual events. Attending spiritual events can be a great way to connect with other people and learn about different spiritual practices. There are many different types of spiritual events, such as workshops, retreats, and concerts. Finding your spiritual path is a journey of self-discovery and growth that can lead you to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. So be open to new experiences, listen to your intuition, and trust yourself. You will eventually find your way. Rituals and ceremonies. Rituals and ceremonies have been a part of human spiritual practice for centuries. They provide a way for people to connect with something larger than themselves, to mark important moments in their lives, and to foster a sense of community. Rituals can take many forms, from simple everyday practices like prayer or meditation to elaborate ceremonies like weddings or funerals. There are many reasons why rituals and ceremonies are so important to spiritual practice. First, they can help to create a sense of order and structure in our lives. The world can be a chaotic and unpredictable place, and rituals can provide us with a sense of stability and predictability. They can also help us to focus our attention on the present moment, which can be a powerful way to reduce stress and anxiety. Second, rituals can help us to connect with something larger than ourselves. This could be a higher power, a spirit, or simply the natural world. Rituals can help us to feel a sense of awe and wonder, and they can remind us that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. Third, rituals can help us to mark important moments in our lives. They can be a way to celebrate births, deaths, marriages, and other significant events. Rituals can help us to remember these important moments and to give them meaning. Fourth, rituals can help us to foster a sense of community. They can be a way for people to come together and share important experiences. Rituals can help us to feel connected to others and to build a sense of belonging. Rituals and ceremonies can have a profound impact on our lives. They can help us to connect with something larger than ourselves, to mark important moments in our lives, to foster a sense of community, and to create a sense of order and structure in our lives. If you're looking for ways to deepen your spiritual practice, consider incorporating more rituals and ceremonies into your life. You may be surprised at how much they can benefit you. Here are some tips for creating rituals and ceremonies that are meaningful to you. Be intentional about the purpose of your ritual or ceremony. What do you want to achieve with it? Choose a ritual or ceremony that resonates with you. There are many different types of rituals and ceremonies out there, so find one that feels right for you. Make your ritual or ceremony personal. Add your own unique touches to make it something that is meaningful to you. Be consistent with your ritual or ceremony. The more you practice it, the more meaningful it will become. Rituals and ceremonies can be a powerful way to connect with your spirituality and to live a more meaningful life. So if you are looking for ways to deepen your spiritual practice, consider incorporating more rituals and ceremonies into your life. You may be surprised at how much they can benefit you. Nature and spiritual growth. Nature has always been a source of inspiration and awe for humans. From the towering mountains to the vast oceans, nature can fill us with a sense of wonder and amazement. Spending time in nature can have a profound impact on our physical and mental health, and it can also be a powerful source of spiritual growth. There are many reasons why spending time in nature is good for our spiritual well-being. First, nature can help us to connect with something larger than ourselves. When we immerse ourselves in nature, we are reminded of our place in the world and of our interconnectedness with all living things. This can help us to feel a sense of peace and belonging. Second, nature can help us to quiet our minds and focus our attention. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it can be difficult to find time to relax and de-stress. Spending time in nature can provide us with a much-needed break from the noise and distractions of everyday life. It can also help us to focus our attention on the present moment, which can be a powerful way to reduce stress and anxiety. Third, nature can help us to foster a sense of awe and wonder. When we experience the beauty and wonder of nature, it can open us up to new possibilities and ways of thinking. It can also help us to appreciate the simple things in life, which can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. Fourth, nature can help us to heal. Spending time in nature has been shown to have a number of physical and mental health benefits. It can reduce stress, improve mood, boost immunity, and help to lower blood pressure. Nature can also be a powerful tool for healing trauma and grief. Fifth, nature can help us to connect with others. Spending time in nature can be a great way to connect with friends and family. It can also be a great way to meet new people who share your love of nature. If you are looking for ways to deepen your spiritual well-being, consider spending more time in nature. There are many ways to connect with nature, such as hiking, camping, gardening, or simply taking a walk in the park. No matter how you choose to connect with nature, the benefits are sure to be plentiful. Here are some tips for connecting with nature for spiritual growth. Go outside as often as possible. Even a short walk around your block can make a big difference. Spend time in natural settings. This could include parks, forests, beaches, or even your own backyard. Pay attention to the natural world around you. Notice the trees, the flowers, the animals, and the sounds of nature. Be mindful of your thoughts and feelings as you connect with nature. Allow yourself to be open to the experience. Let go of expectations. Don't try to force anything. Just relax and enjoy being in nature. Connecting with nature is a simple yet powerful way to improve your spiritual well-being. So take some time to get out there and enjoy the natural world. You might be surprised at how much it can benefit you. In the tapestry of our lives, our thoughts, like clouds, come and go, leaving imprints on our consciousness. Yet, beneath the ephemeral nature of our minds, an eternal soul resides, a wellspring of love, wisdom, and compassion. This book has explored the profound connection between the transient clouds of our thoughts and the enduring essence of the soul. It has revealed how the elements of spirituality, meditation, mindfulness, gratitude, and connection to nature empower the soul, allowing us to navigate the ever-changing landscape of our thoughts with grace and equanimity. As we embrace the transience of our minds and cultivate the eternal essence within, we unlock a realm of inner peace, fulfillment, and connection to the divine. May this journey of self-discovery inspire us to live with greater awareness, compassion, and love, recognizing that even as our thoughts may pass, the eternal soul endures. The Summit, Beyond the Ladder Introduction. Welcome, fellow traveler, to the Summit, Beyond the Ladder. If the ladder was our guide for the initial ascent, laying down the foundational rungs of spiritual principles, then the Summit invites us to transcend those initial steps and truly embody the journey itself. This book is a deeper dive, an exploration not just of reaching a peak, but of understanding that the summit of your life journey isn't a fixed point on a map, but an ever-expanding horizon within you. It's about recognizing that peace isn't found by dwelling on what was or what will be. When you are focused on the past, you are depressed. When you focus on the future, you are anxious. But when you focus on the present, you are at peace. This profound truth is the compass for our continued ascent. This isn't a race to a finish line, for the true essence of spiritual evolution lies in the journey, not the destination. We will explore how New Age spiritual concepts, from the multiverse to the dissolution of the ego, can illuminate your path, helping you to not only reach your personal summit, but to realize that this summit is a continuous state of being, a harmonious dance within the grand cosmic symphony of existence. Prepare to move beyond intellectual understanding to profound, embodied wisdom, transforming every step into a deeper connection with your highest self and the infinite tapestry of reality. We are, each of us, children of a divine creator, inherently destined for a future filled with glory, both in this earthly existence and in the realms beyond. This profound truth is rooted in God's intimate understanding of us, a knowledge so complete it forms the very foundation of our hope and the unwavering promise of our future. From the moment of our conception, we are known by a love that transcends human comprehension, a deeply personal awareness that ensures we are never truly alone, never unacknowledged, and always held in the embrace of a benevolent presence. This knowing is the wellspring from which our hope flows, assuring us that our lives have purpose and meaning, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. This divine intimacy also dictates our glorious destiny. Glory in this context is not merely earthly success or fleeting recognition, but a state of being fully realized in God's image, flourishing in His presence. In this life, it manifests as the unfolding of our potential, the triumph over adversity, and the cultivation of virtues that reflect divine character. It is found in acts of kindness, in moments of profound connection, and in the quiet strength that sustains us through trials. This journey towards glory is not always easy. It demands resilience, faith, and a willingness to surrender to a greater plan. Yet with each step, we are guided by a love that anticipates our needs and celebrates our growth. Beyond this life, the promise of glory expands into an eternal horizon, a future where limitations fall away, joy is complete, and the bond with our Creator is perfected. It is a future not earned by merit alone, but freely given through a love that is everlasting and unconditional, a constant beacon illuminating our path to eternal glory. In a world constantly assailed by forces of entropy and oblivion, the very act of writing stands as a defiant monument to the human spirit. It is, unequivocally an act of preservation, a meticulous counter-offensive against the inevitable decay of memory, the erosion of truth, and the silent disappearance of lived experience. To successfully commit anything to paper, or indeed to any enduring medium, is not merely an achievement. It is a profound victory, a tangible triumph over every force that conspires to destroy. This book, then, is an act of defiance, a commitment to preserving and sharing the wisdom that transcends time and illuminates the path to your personal summit. We often speak of freedom as an inherent right, a state of being guaranteed by laws or geography. Yet, true liberation isn't merely granted, it's earned through an ongoing act of will. To be truly free is to possess the courage and capacity to unbind yourself from limitations, both visible and unseen. More profoundly, it means extending that same emancipatory spirit to those around you, recognizing that the chains that shackle one ultimately diminish the liberty of all. This isn't just about breaking physical bonds, but about dismantling mental cages, societal prejudices, and systemic oppressions. It's in this dual journey, the relentless pursuit of personal liberation, twinned with the active empowerment of others, that the fullest expression of freedom is found. Prepare to move beyond intellectual understanding to profound, embodied wisdom, transforming every step into a deeper connection with your highest self and the infinite tapestry of reality. Welcome to the summit. The ascent continues. Writing and inspiration. Introduction. Think of the fragility of the spoken word. Uttered, it dissipates into the air, its echo fading with the briefest moment. Stories passed down orally, though powerful, are susceptible to alteration, misremembering, and the ultimate silence of forgotten voices. But when those words are written, they gain a permanence that defies time. A diary entry from centuries past can transport us directly into the heart of another's lived experience, their joys, sorrows, and observations laid bare. A scientific treatise, penned with precision, can lay the groundwork for generations of discovery. Laws, written and codified, provide the framework for societies to function and endure. Without the written word, our collective knowledge would be a whisper in the wind, easily lost and impossible to reconstruct. Writing is also a potent weapon against the forces of suppression and historical revisionism. Authoritarian regimes throughout history have understood the power of the written word, often attempting to control narratives by destroying books, censoring ideas, and rewriting history. Yet, even in the face of such destructive forces, the act of writing persists, often in secret, as a form of resistance. Samizdat literature in the Soviet Union, for instance, became a vital conduit for truth in a system built on lies. The clandestine act of committing dangerous thoughts to paper, even when knowing the risks, underscores the inherent power and importance of writing as a tool for liberation. Every poem scribbled in defiance, every secret journal entry, every manifesto smuggled across borders represents a victory for truth and individual expression. Furthermore, the very process of writing is a battle won against the chaos of our own minds. Thoughts, unformed and fleeting, can be elusive. The act of writing forces us to organize, clarify, and articulate our ideas. It demands a level of precision and coherence that spoken language often does not. In this way, writing becomes a tool for self-discovery, a process of transforming nebulous concepts into concrete understanding. To successfully articulate a complex idea, to wrestle with a difficult emotion and give it form on the page, is a personal triumph, an assertion of control over the internal landscape. In essence, writing is an act of creation that inherently defies destruction. It is the architect's blueprint, the historian's record, the poet's immortal verse, and the individual's enduring testament. Each letter formed, each sentence crafted, each paragraph completed stands as a small but significant victory against the relentless march of time, the deliberate erasure of truth, and the inherent ephemerality of existence. To write is to declare, this existed, this matters, this will not be forgotten, and in that declaration lies its profound and everlasting importance. The secret well, when inspiration becomes a solitary feast. The conventional narrative of artistic creation often centers on altruism, the writer driven by a desire to share, to inform, to move, to entertain an audience. We imagine a wellspring of inspiration freely given and meant to flow outwards, enriching the lives of others. Yet, lurking beneath this philanthropic ideal is a fascinating, almost subversive possibility. What if a writer, at some profound level, conceived of their inspiration as a private hoard, a secret wellspring meant primarily for their own enjoyment and intellectual gratification, rather than for public consumption? While the act of writing almost inherently implies an eventual reader, the initial spark, the sustained engagement, and the profound satisfaction of the creative process could, for some, be a deeply selfish affair. It is difficult to pinpoint a historical figure who explicitly articulated such a sentiment, as the very act of publication would contradict this stated intent. Public pronouncements by writers, almost by necessity, conform to the expectation of audience engagement. However, one can infer such motivations through the nature of certain literary endeavors, or even the sheer joy a writer might express in the act of creation itself, regardless of its reception. Consider the reclusive poet laboring over verse for years, perhaps sharing it with only a trusted few, or even keeping it entirely to themselves. Emily Dickinson, for instance, famously published only a handful of poems during her lifetime, her vast body of work discovered posthumously. While her ultimate intentions remain a subject of scholarly debate, it is plausible to imagine that the act of writing, the wrestling with language and meaning, was a profound, self-contained pleasure for her, the culmination of inspiration, a deeply personal triumph. The external world, with its demands for publication and critical appraisal, may have been secondary to the internal world of her creative process. Furthermore, the very nature of certain literary forms lends itself to this idea of self-indulgence. The private journal, the deeply personal memoir, or the intricate, self-referential world-building of certain fantasy or science fiction writers can all be seen as projects initially conceived for the creator's sole enjoyment. A diarist, for instance, writes for an audience of one, themselves. The inspiration to record their thoughts and experiences stems from an internal need, not an external obligation. While some journals are later published, their genesis lies in a private, often therapeutic act of self-expression. The satisfaction derived from shaping their experiences into narrative, of understanding their own minds through the written word, is a reward in itself. Even in more conventional forms, the initial burst of inspiration can feel intensely personal. A whisper meant only for the writer's ears. The thrill of a new idea, the intricate unfolding of a plot in one's mind, the perfect turn of phrase, these are moments of profound intellectual and emotional gratification that are inherently private. Before the reader enters the equation, before the demands of clarity or marketability arise, there is a period of pure, unadulterated creative immersion. It is in this fertile ground that the selfish impulse might take root. The project becomes a personal playground, a mental gymnasium where the writer exercises their intellect and imagination for sheer delight. The completion of the project then becomes less about the reader's anticipated pleasure and more about the writer's own sense of accomplishment, a private victory over the blank page. While the desire to communicate and connect is undeniably a powerful motivator for most writers, it is equally compelling to consider the possibility that, for some, the deepest satisfaction lies in the creative act itself, in the unfolding of an idea born of inspiration, meant primarily for their own intellectual and emotional consumption. This is not to say such writers are entirely devoid of an audience in mind, but rather that the initial, profound impulse, the very wellspring of their creativity, might be a secret well guarded and cherished, its waters drunk primarily by the artists themselves. In such cases, the published work becomes a byproduct, an overflow from a deeply personal and ultimately selfish artistic feast. Next, I'll provide an overview of some places where I've found inspiration as an author, including art, religion, movies, television, and life itself. Le Pater, Alphonse Mucha's Spiritual Vision for a New Century, published in Paris on December 20, 1899, Alphonse Mucha's Le Pater was more than just an illustrated edition of the Lord's Prayer. It was his profound message to the coming century about humanity's progress. Through this archetypal Christian prayer, Mucha aimed to show mankind a path to the divine ideal, the pinnacle of spiritual existence. This project marked a pivotal moment in Mucha's career. Dissatisfied with endless commercial commissions, he longed for art with a deeper purpose. His long-standing interest in spiritualism, dating back to the 1890s, and particularly Masonic philosophy, heavily influenced him. Initiated into the Paris Lodge Les Inseparables du Progrès in 1898, Mucha's Freemasonry stemmed from his spiritualism, a quest for a truth beyond the visible world. He believed beauty, truth, and love were humanity's cornerstones, and that sharing this through his art would elevate human life and propel mankind forward. To realize his vision, Mucha analyzed each of the Lord's Prayer's 7 verses, creating a 3-page spread for each. The first page, in color, presents the verse in French and Latin, framed by lavish floral and symbolic female adornments. The second, also in color, features Mucha's interpretation of the verse, decorated with floral patterns. The third, a monochromatic photogravure, displays a full-page allegorical drawing reflecting Mucha's philosophical response. Masonic symbols are abundant throughout. This resulted in an exquisite book, limited to 510 copies. Mucha considered Le Pater his finest work and his first declaration as an artist-philosopher. He proudly exhibited the book and its preparatory drawings at the 1900 Paris International Exhibition, particularly pleased when Emperor Francis Joseph Thirst admired his illustrations. Born into Heaven, Jim Lovell's profound perspective on life.